You sure better.
Okay, you gotta prepare the skillet before you pour the batter in. That's one.
Yeah, that's
Cornbread tends to get heated up and you put your oil.
I know
in
it.
What'd you
Yeah.
say?
She said you heat it up and you put your oil in it and you stick it in the oven.
She's right about
I
that.
know it. My daughter-in-law's mother makes cornbread and it
I
tastes
know
like
how to make
cake.
cornbread.
No,
And I'm like,
it's
Well,
not.
y'all gonna have to have a cornbread
We ought to have a cornbread contest.
contest.
Yeah, you need, next time we come to the luncheon, you bring us some cornbread back up that state.
You bring some too, and we'll see who's the best.
Well, so we're gonna have buttermilk pie and cornbread.
Buttermilk pie?
why don't we do it next lunch or
Ooh, that sounds
do
good.
it on the next
I'll bring
Widowhood
a gallon of
luncheon.
milk for the cornbread.
My birthday is
Yeah,
Oh, my
but it has to be
dad.
buttermilk.
March the 14th.
I don't know about buttermilk with
And that's what I like, is
No,
buttermilk
that's not
pie.
southern cornbread.
Mark is already gone.
My dad used to take cornbread and, put in a bowl with milk.
Yeah.
And so,
Buttermilk.
They crush it up.
I know he didn't
my
like
little
buttermilk.
nephew, he was
I
little,
did.
and he taught
He does?
him to break it up, and at the
I
end,
like putting mine in like
serve the
chili.
meal. Well, my
Oh, yeah.
sister-in-law saw
Vegetable
that one day, and
beef
she's
soup.
like,
Yes.
Joseph,
That's where I like my
where did you
cornbread.
learn that?
Or collars with a lot of
He was
cheese.
like, Grandpa.
I didn't even start eating collars.
And she couldn't say nothing then. That was just improper, you just don't turn up the table, your bowl of milk, slurp it up, and you gotta make the noise,
And Robert is really
And he
big
just
too.
did it. He just did it to aggravate Vicky because he knew Joseph would do it. And that's why he gets slurping, because he never
I was
slurped.
telling you this like 14
Yeah.
other
He
times.
taught Joseph not to
And
slurp
I
because
was
he
telling
knew.
everybody, man, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Just like
That's
that.
why I'm trying to do this. I put a little
5
bit in
seconds.
the
We're gonna have
bowl.
to drop
Yeah,
something on
right.
the
Cornbread contest.
Hey, it's free milk in the collar that night. Everybody go,
There was
Jerry
a, my
don't like
mom
collars.
makes a
Jerry
good
loves
fried
collars
corn.
now, man.
Fried corn?
Just 54 years.
So, okay, now,
Yeah.
let me determine how much country we are here. Who's ever had poke salad?
This, when I could smell,
I have.
Like,
I have too.
With eggs in it.
But I've never eaten
Yeah.
it.
I've had it, but
You
I
never had poke salad?
No.
That was pretty
My
good.
husband's grandmother used to cook it. She used to scramble eggs, put after she got the poison part out, she
Love
would
collard.
take green onions and she'd take like spickling and then she'd take green onions and cook that in there and then she would scramble eggs and put it in. It was
I bought
good.
that. And this will carry.
Well, I'll be honest with you, I didn't
It
have it until my mother-in-law actually said, I'm gonna make you some poke salad. I'm going, what?
What'd you say? I haven't had it in probably 40-something years, but I've had it.
I haven't either.
It's been a good 30 years for me.
I didn't like it, but I did
But,
too.
I mean, she just went out and picked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just go out on the side, well, you gotta know, you
Yeah,
gotta know what to pick.
right.
And you
Yeah.
gotta,
You can pick it
yeah,
at a certain time and it's not poisonous, but you can pick it when it gets,
Right.
it's poisonous.
she
Well,
would,
she didn't explain all the details to me.
Next week, leave that hopes out.
But it was
yeah,
good.
it was. Kitty's grandmother would boil it and pour the water off and pull the water off. I think she did it like 3 times and then she would squeeze all the juice out of it
They had
and
4
scramble it
years.
up in there. It was really good.
Everybody in there?
They, thank you.
Lying about as country as they come, so hey.
Country's good.
My grandmother used to sell biscuits, she'd make
I was
whole
just about to
cakes.
say.
Yeah.
You just put them on the stove, you just go by and carry
Oh,
out,
I'm gonna tell you,
Yeah.
there is no.
keep on doing each one.
What was this again?
Unfortunately,
She called them whole cakes, but they were biscuits, but she made them in a round pan.
Yeah.
You just pick it up, tear your part off.
Cause I ate up there.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Ricky up there. a couple
Especially if you got the white gravy to dip it in, the
Yeah.
real kind, not the bat, the real
They got
kind.
a buffet.
The real gravy.
Yeah.
10 to 2.
My mom used to,
All you
she always made her,
depending on how many
biscuits
meats
and
you
them round
$7,
things.
$8, $9,
But-
depending on the meats.
she would, sometimes she would make biscuits that big and Daddy called them cat heads.
Yeah.
That's- There was a place in the, I wondered what that was. There was a place in the mountains. My husband was
Somebody
drive by in the Tears Valley,
they
and they said, we serve cathead biscuits. And I always wondered what that was. Is it
Yeah.
I did see it. That's bad.
It sure wouldn't make you want to order it.
I know, right?
No, we didn't ever stop, no.
Honey buns.
But I thought,
bear claws.
my
cherry
curiosity was
berries,
up.
all kinds
But you're
of
the
stuff.
first person I've ever heard say
And
that.
I'm
On the radio, there's
Living
this,
there. And it's like-
B92, there's a radio, I mean, there's some restaurant out toward Tallapoosa. And
Yes.
I think it's hooked to a gas station, and they advertise every day what they're having for lunch, and they'll say they have cat-head biscuits. I never heard of it till then either.
That just means they're big.
Yeah, you turn down there.
What station is it on?
Street on the left.
My aunt
Living in
used to
subdivision.
make
They
sourdough
just opened a
biscuits.
Taco Bell right
That's
up
what
there.
we had.
Oh, man. Yes,
Sourdough
yes.
biscuits, they were so good.
I love Taco Bell.
Well, I worked on
What was it?
Sourdough biscuits.
Her daughter
I
can
opened
make
Oh,
them.
I never.
I've heard of
the
angel
one
biscuits,
by
because Mother used to
Walmart.
make those.
Yeah.
Oh, seven.
Miss Jana, my
Then I
mom used to
ended up
make
at
those,
Yeah.
Lincoln
angel
for-
Yeah.
biscuits,
before I.
and they would make a million, it
Yeah.
seemed like.
and I-
Yeah.
I
Whatever
worked
the
on-
recipe had in
Yeah.
it, it made, she'd put them up in the
Good
freezer,
food.
Yeah.
and give them away to people,
My customers, I love.
because it made
Yeah.
so much.
Mother had some kind of a little recipe there, which just her and Daddy, and you mix all the dry ingredients up, and then when she'd want to make just 2 or 3 biscuits, she'd take it out
Yep,
and
she works
make
days.
just 2 or 3, and then keep the rest of it in the fridge.
Normally 6:45.
My biscuits comes from Pillsbury in a
She's not.
bag.
But she.
I hardly
she don't
ever
mind
make
it in the
bread at
morning,
all.
but
Or
sometimes
grands
she
or
was
something in a
like,
bag.
Me.
That's another
Yeah.
thing
She
Dad
don't
likes
like
to
that.
make. He
Yeah.
loves to make biscuits.
I
Yeah.
can tell when she
All
comes
the time.
home, she's been at night pad all day or night.
I had
Yeah.
those biscuits
Wrong.
well, so long I forgot
When
how to
Mom
make
makes
them.
it,
I don't make them good anymore because I'm out of practice with them.
This little girl.
That'd be me. I
Yeah,
got
what
them
I'm
so
doing
long.
here,
I'd
or
probably hard to
eat out all
I
the
make
time. Well, if you were to
I'll
ask your
make them
grandmother,
something
like
like
I
remember.
remember,
My grandson said,
We eat a lot of chicken.
my
please
mom
make some
asked
biscuits.
my
Well, I
grandmother, she
tried to
said,
make
well,
some
it's a
Tammy's
piece
when I
of
was out of
this
my
and a little of this, and
Plus, I
well,
tried
your
to
kid's
do
probably
my
better than my bigger than my kids, you know. I need, you know, but she'd always have her flour bowl.
The middle school.
I don't think she ever cleaned it. She just covered it with her flour sack and then set it back on the shelf. That's how my grandmother and my mom. It was, put it in until it looks right, or,
That's
you know.
what I think
Well,
is that's what
I have a recipe in my grandmother's
I mix mine
pantry.
with my hand, but I had
For-
so long I
Well,
forgot.
I put this on
Rack
Facebook
cheese
because
cornbread.
I'm determined to get that down
Called
there.
what? Racked cheese cornbread. And her, she has
R-A-C-K?
Yeah,
Rats.
R-A-T.
racked cheese cornbread.
yeah.
It has sausage and cheese inside.
Oh, okay, I'm sure it was good. Why the name?
I wouldn't eat it for years because of the name.
Yeah.
And my kids won't touch it because of the name, but I love it. But on her recipe, she has all the measurements for her cornbread, and it's like so much milk plus a little bit more. And I always gave her a hard time about that because she gave me that recipe. I think it was after Chris and I got married. And so I called her one day and I said, Grandma, how am I supposed to do this? And she goes, I said, is it like a tablespoon? Is it, you know, a quarter cup? And she goes, just a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit. And I said,
talked about doing that last
so every
year
time I make that, I have to laugh because I'm
Right,
like,
yeah.
okay, here's my actual measurement, and then Grandma's little bit.
That would make
Yeah,
Just that it doesn't make this. I don't have.
There was-
Can you tell me?
And I'll find out more.
Well, I can kind of, I guess,
Because I don't know
he wound up
if-
looking on online and Googling a recipe. But he likes the sweet cornbread.
Yeah.
I ride with.
Yeah.
But he grew up with Jenny making jiffy cornbread instead of
Right.
regular
Oh,
cornbread.
that's
Sweeter.
that cornbread is
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Jiffy cornbread.
I don't like that cake-like.
No.
That Jiffy cornbread is not like that.
I even like the little muffin sticks. It's real crunchy.
Yeah.
I like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Now, one recipe, my mom always made homemade vegetable soup. And that was one thing, I watched her do it.
Oh, no, I had drive, it would drive. I'm not
But
driving.
she never had a written recipe for her vegetable
Yeah,
soup.
yes.
And I make it every
Oh,
fall.
yes,
I
I
have
do
to make a
remember
big pot, I put it up in the freezer, you know.
I would if I don't have
But,
to go to Atlanta. I would drive if I didn't
several,
have to go to
not
Atlanta.
several
But
years.
drive-
It was after she got
He
sick. I
doesn't
don't
every
remember
day.
exactly when. But I was home visiting and I said, Mom,
Metro Atlanta
I
all
need
the
you to
time.
tell
I use
me-
dry parts.
I know you
And
don't have a
then,
recipe, but I
use
need you
dry
to tell me in
wheelchair
general,
for 2 years.
how do you make
I'll
your
always
vegetable
say,
soup?
and even
Because
Mississippi
this is
comes
something I need
Oh,
to know.
wow.
Which I like that. 'cause we got the flag.
And so she walk you through it, and I have it written down on a little piece of paper in my recipe box now. But even still, you know, when she salts or peppers anything, or when she did, it wasn't exact. It was just put it in until it looks right, taste it. If it doesn't taste right, add some more.
Right. And there's so many different ways you can do
So
that. So you can't do it wrong.
Yes.
That's one thing you cannot do wrong is vegetable soup.
You gotta take 2 people.
I made some pretty bad vegetable soup.
I can't always remember the name of the place.
I figured out you either add more of the. Mom always used vegetable juice, tomato juice.
Pick them up there.
One of the two. Tomato juice or vegetable juice.
Yeah.
And so
Wow.
either if you added too many vegetables, add more juice. If you didn't have enough, you know, get the proportions.
And
But
you
it
start
didn't
out with a
matter.
pot this
It
big,
didn't matter
and
how
you
much
want
you
this
ended
big,
up with.
make sure you have it on hand.
Yeah, it grows as you start making it. It gets bigger and bigger.
Yes.
I am bad about doing that. I'll get my pan out and I think it's gonna be okay. And then before I get the last thing in it, I want to put in it. It's not gonna work. I'm gonna have to have a bigger pan.
Yeah.
That's like going to a salad bar. You start down here and you say, I'm just gonna
Right.
get a small salad.
And then you
And
take out
then
one.
by the time you get all the way to the end, you're like, well, this is really dinner and my plate's too, but you know, because you wanted a little bit of everything on the salad.
I could pick it up at 6 in the morning, bring it back at 10 at night. I might actually work 5
Mr.
hours.
Tom,
Yeah, I could take the whole thing.
can you go ahead and we'll do our little discussion here before we're finished. Dad had sent me, since he wasn't going to be here today, I know y'all are chatting and I'm loving it, but I wanted to make sure we talked about this thing that Dad had sent me to kind of just get some thoughts going. But Mr. Tom is going to read a couple of verses for me.
This is coming from Philippians 4, verses 12 through 13.
11.
Oh, jeez. All right, see? It's 11. This one here has got some small writing to it.
Need my glasses?
No, I might need. By the time it's over with, I might, but yes. All right. From 11 to 13. Not that I speak in regard to need, for I have learned in whatever state I am to be content. I know now how to be abased, and I know how to abound. Everywhere and in all things I have learned both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. But I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
So the question I wanted to ask, can a widow or widower ever be content after loss? And if so, or if not, why not? If so, how? And I know for some of you that's a more fresh talk. What am I wanting to say? Your loss has been, it's a newer topic to think about. But is it possible to get to a point where you can be content with your situation, with your...
It takes time. You just got to learn to get through what you've been through and know that no matter what goes forward, God is there to help you through this. For me, that was the main thing, because I've been a widower 15 years, going on a month. So it took a long time to get to where I felt okay with my situation, knowing that she's not with me no more, and that time does heal. You know, so I can't tell you how long it was before I really felt good and content. I've only had 2 dates in 15 years, and I didn't like them, same woman, so I don't go there no more. But it's not easy, as we all know, and you can be content. It's just a choice of getting yourself there. it's like anything else. We have a decision to make, and how are we going to get there? You know, for me, it was just a lot of time, and that was it. Just really a lot of time.
I'm not content at all. I mean, it'll be a year next month, and I'm not content with it. I'm not at peace with it. I don't,
And that's okay.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm just not happy with it. I mean, I try to, come out and smile, but in the heart, and then when you're alone, no, I'm still unhappy about the whole situation.
Yeah.
Well, in your situation too, with your husband having been in the hospital and COVID and all of those
I couldn't be there.
complications, everything it
I don't know if
piles
you're
up.
ever really content. You just learn to live with it.
Yeah.
You
I
did.
think that's
You
the
accept
thing.
what you-
That's the
I
best.
think
I
that's
mean, I'm not okay
May
with
24th.
I've been gone. It's been 8 years. But
Yeah.
I can't just sit down and wallow either.
No.
Nope, you gotta find other things to do to replace it, keep yourself busy.
Yeah.
I'm probably the youngest as far as the one who's lost most recent. And there isn't a day go by that I don't think of my life plan. But I accept it for what it is. And I know, I'm just thankful I'm a Christian.
Amen.
And she was too.
Yeah. I mean, so, count your blessings and just stay busy. I do my best to stay busy, even though sometimes I'm pretty lazy. But
Sometimes I am.
That's
but it's not
okay to
very
be
often.
lazy now.
yeah, it's easy to be lazy.
Yeah,
So
it's
I try-
okay too.
Yeah,
You
so,
need that time sometimes just to be lazy, not to do anything, just kind of be there and relax.
and so, I'm thinking about come September, that's when I'm gonna probably be thinking about it the most again, because that's when she passed. So, it just hasn't been that long, but I accept the situation, and I just know that this world's not my home. Just like the song says, it's just passing through.
Yeah, just passing through.
So we gotta remember that, and be thankful for all the blessings that God's bestowed upon us. And I'm thankful, even though she's not with me, I'm still thankful that we were together for all those years. So it's not easy. I don't think anybody, like you say, I don't think you ever get get over it.
You just find ways of coping.
John's been
Yeah.
gone 10 years, Laura, and every night when I go to bed, you might think I'm crazy, but I talk to him. I know
No.
he answers me.
That's not crazy at all.
No, that's not.
No.
I just tell him how I feel and all this stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what's going on.
Chris's grandfather, when he passed away, it was in 2014. His grandmother is still living, Granny, and when he was in the hospital before he passed away, we had gone up to visit, and we got I think it was either a stuffed monkey or a stuffed teddy bear that had a balloon hanging from it to take to him in the hospital, and Granny still sleeps with that stuffed animal in his spot
Oh, yeah.
in the bed. And she'll mention it anytime, when we are up there visiting or whatever. And she'll say something similar to what you did. You probably think I'm crazy, but I still have that stuffed animal in the bed. I said, no, that's not crazy at all.
Probably what keeps you sane.
I have a dog that sleeps on Roger's side of the bed.
Yeah.
And I'll look up sometimes at night and she's under the covers with her head up against the pillow and her little paws out.
Well, I have a stuffed animal that I sleep with when Chris isn't home or when he leaves for work in the morning. And I got up a couple of nights ago in the night to go to the restroom. And when I walked around the bed to go to the bathroom, I could have promised you there was a child asleep propped up next to the bed. That's what I thought. And so I got up right next to him and I was like, it was my bear. It was my stuffed animal, and I was half asleep and didn't know what was actually there. But anyways. Mr. Tom, were you starting? No. Okay. I thought you looked like you had something to say.
I have 5 I sleep with, 5 stuffed animals in a twin size bed. So you can imagine. But it's the comfort of having them. Just, I still think of her, I dream about her, and I miss her.
Yeah. Sure you do.
But it's just stay where you can and be good about it. It's all you can do.
Well, and I know.
I don't either. When I dream about her for the next couple of days, I'm in bad. I'm in a bad way, And I'm glad I don't dream about her a lot. But when I do, it just really gets me, and it makes next couple of days a little bit harder. She just, it was April 6th when she was taken from us. She was murdered in Carrollton, so it was just like there and then gone, and nothing you could do, and it just hurts.
I tell you things that bother me, and they're silly little things, but I'll be watching TV and there'll be either something on the program or something on a commercial that reminds me of Roger. There's a commercial that this man has on this red shirt and looks just like one that Roger had.
I remember that red shirt.
It's not something you can get away from.
No.
I go in the library and there's all his books.
That's a piece of his heart still there with you.
Yeah.
That's a piece of his heart still there with you.
And that's going to help for his influence to keep going for anybody who uses those books. Even kids as young as Justin's the first one I can think of, but all those boys that did the Timothy classes with him and the influence that he had on them, that's just a special memory. Well, y'all can keep thinking about that or mention anything else that you'd like, but I just wanted to kind of throw that out there for our discussion today. Also, there's flyers back there on the table in the middle for next month. Next month, we're going to do a cookout type theme. It is going to be a little bit like a week sooner than we typically have it, just because of the Memorial Day holiday. So that's on there. Tessa, do you have anything else? But I'm so glad y'all came today. And please, if there's anything that you want to take home, we have some to-go containers, and we can fix you a whole thing of banana pudding to take home. He was trying to snatch my banana pudding earlier, and I told him to back off.
Well, I asked him to hand it to me, so it really wasn't his fault. And then Mom said, just hide it. So it was kind of like, yeah, the real.
Oh, I had to watch that.
I tell you, I wasn't going to turn them in. So.
No, I couldn't let you take the heat by yourself. So.
Wow. So you're going to all confess.
Yeah. See, you gotta go easy on me now.
I was going to say, tonight or Sunday, I expect to see all three of you on the front row. I mean, it's one thing to confess your sins here.
Charlotte, but after we confess it after we get prayers, he'll probably call you up.
Yeah, you weren't on that too.
I was the innocent party.
And I will say I joined a grief group at Tanner that starts up in May. So let's try to take that next step forward.
Yeah.
I just think that,
Don't be hard on yourself.
I just think I need that.
I thought she went to them when I read it.
I went to one,
It wasn't the same one.
but they were going just a different path than I needed to go. It wasn't what I needed. I needed to talk, and I needed to listen to somebody else's experience. I didn't need to watch videos and stuff like that, and read a book and do homework in a book.
Right.
You know, I was looking for something like a friend of mine said, it's almost like going to AA. You want to talk. You want to see how they got through stuff. And the lady called me at Tanner, the hospice lady called. She said, I'm finally getting to do my grief group, and you were on top of my list. So I was so excited when she called me.
Cry and cry.
Yes.
Going out the back door and screaming, go out the back door and scream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's not, I think a lot of times, Miss Pam, people think that grief is like a cookie cutter experience.
It's different.
And it's
Everybody.
not. It's
No.
different for everybody.
And
Definitely.
it can be minute to minute, hour to hour. It's never.
Yeah.
I mean,
And the important thing is to do it the way you need to do it, not the way somebody else thinks you need to do it,
Right.
or like how everybody else is doing. You know, it's not like that. It's not something that you can go to a textbook and say,
Oh, it's
it's an
funny.
individual journey.
this is what you
And
need
it's
to do.
just funny
It's
how when
your-
it hits you.
Yeah.
Like I was driving home from my mother-in-law's on Sunday, and I had just, it was rare that I ever went there without him.
Yeah.
And I was halfway back home from Alabama, and I was doing perfect, I thought, up to this point. But just one little thing triggered something, and I cried the rest of the way home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Talking about going out the back door and screaming. I lay on the bed and scream in the pillow, and when I raise up, my little dog sat there.
Oh.
She thinks I'm crazy anyway.
Oh, Lord.
I guess the one thing that gets me is when somebody says, I know how you feel. Well, they don't know how I feel.
No. No.
That's
They
that's
may
one
know
of
how
those.
they feel. That's
Yes.
a cliche when you say,
Yes.
I know how you feel, or, you know, it's just, they don't know how.
Dad has always said that falls into the stupid things you say to someone who's grieving
Yeah.
category.
I think we discussed that a couple months ago.
Mhm.
My first time coming
Yeah.
here, we discussed
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
I learned to not say nothing because sometimes just being there and listening is better than saying any stupid thing that could be said.
We
I
have
learned that.
we have someone here, Tessa, I think I told you about this. We have someone here who lost her husband very suddenly. This person's not here. But I remember going to the funeral home for the visitation, and I hugged her and I said, I'm so sorry for your loss. And she said something to me about, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm so, all the normal things that a newly widowed person would say. And I looked at her and I said, I'm so sorry. I know how you feel. And as soon as I said that, she looked at me and she said, no, you don't. And I snapped out of it and I said, you know what? You are exactly right. I don't know what you're going, just because I had experienced a loss, meaning my mother. And it was one of those things, one of those stupid things that you say to people that just kind of came out before I thought about it. But she said, no, you don't. You don't know how. And I went, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel. I'm sorry. I shouldn't, I shouldn't have said that. But it is definitely an individual
It's a journey.
journey. I was going to say experience. That's not the word I wanted to
It's a
use,
journey.
but
Yeah.
it's
Every day is different.
Mhm.
And she heard that a lot. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
What you told her,
Yeah.
she heard a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's definitely step by step.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But
but
I read somewhere in a magazine, I think it was, that the person that's hardest to lose in your life is one of your siblings because you've always been there together. But, I thought, well, I don't know about that. Maybe it's right. And I mean, it was hard when I lost both of my parents. And it was hard when I lost my brother. But it was harder to lose Roger.
Yeah.
Well, it's a unique relationship. It's a relationship you haven't shared, you know. You have a relationship with your siblings, you have a relationship with your parents, you have friendships, but
it's all different. I mean, like I lost my husband last May, but then I lost my dad in December.
Right.
So it's like it's a different type of grief too.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, and Pam and I are in the same house together, so when we feel like crying, we just cry.
And I'm so glad that y'all did that. I think that's great that you can be there for each other and help each other through the journey.
Yeah.
So
Well, I lost Beverly in March, and then I lost John in October the same year.
same year. Yeah.
So that's not, you look back on it, wonder how you got this far.
Well, I've cut March out of my calendar. It's just no more March in the calendar.
Well, she fought cancer for 4 years, so I know she was in pain.
It was like my husband was on hospice and he was at home. He actually passed away on my mom's birthday.
Yep.
So we moved her birthday to
Not
Mother's
having
Day.
my birthday on that day.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
That's a good idea.
Change my birthday.
Yeah.
I thought only your kids could do that.
Well, I'm gonna be a
My kid's mom was the 29th. I always had hers on the 28th. And a couple of years after we were married, she told me, well, I normally would celebrate it March 1st. I said, well, why didn't you say something sooner? Because I always did it the 28th. It's like, that's crazy.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It's just lucky she wasn't born on the 29th.
She was.
She was.
Oh, she was born on the
Yes.
29th.
She was 4.5 when we got married,
Yeah.
legally.
My daddy made it. He came 28.
Yeah.
Huh.
But I mean, Roger died March the 2nd. Well, before that, I had an aunt that was like a second mother. She died Christmas Day of 2019. Then Roger died the 2nd of March of 2020, right before they quarantined all of us. And then I had a cousin to die not too long after that. And then March the 5th of this year's when my brother died. My birthday's in March. My grandmother's birthday's in March. So I no longer have a March in my calendar.
Okay.
Well, I don't have any. Y'all can sit around and talk as much as you want. But I'm just glad that all of you were here today, and thank you for being here. And
that delicious lunch.
I know we do.
Oh,
this.
yeah, this was the best of the 3 months I've been.
Oh, well,
Yes.
good.
Yes.
I
First
know-
month, Tom beat me to death, and I didn't feel like eating.
Well, we do this for y'all, but I know I can speak for Tessa as well as myself. Y'all bless us just as much or more than your experience here. So we enjoy doing this for y'all, and we just hope that this puts a bright spot in your week, in your month, and we enjoy doing this for y'all. So
I enjoyed so much I came last week.
You can't laugh.
Oh, Miss Brianna.
Oh, bless her.
Wow.
My week's
I'm going to.
Disappointed. Where'd you go? Did you go and get
I called
something?
Pam or Helen one, and they said, well, we're over here at the Gypsy Rabbit if you want to come eat lunch with us. So I went over there and ate with them.
Where's the gypsy rabbit?
It's in Temple.
Is it good?
I was fixing to say I've never heard
Yeah,
of
it's
the
good.
gypsy
The
rabbit.
place we went with Helen and Pam, man, they got good food.
Do they?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I
I'll
gotta tell
have to go. I'll have
Jonathan.
to
And they
go.
got some very rich desserts.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've never heard about
And
it.
I had sugar-free ice
It's
cream.
new, or it's new to like downtown Temple, and there's nothing in downtown Temple.
There's nothing
No,
there, yeah.
Man,
Except the railroad track.
Right.
yeah,
And superfoods.
it's close to where the old police department used to be.
Yeah.
It's right before
We
there
get
on
a
the right,
calendar
is a big brick building.
Okay.
Every
Yeah.
month, so
Right
I
before.
gotta go try it.
What
It's
kind of food
good.
do they
I
have?
have to write it
Everything.
on mine.
Yeah.
It's like American foods, like.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I had
The
the
day
Philly
we were
steak
there,
and
though,
cheese,
they did have
which
lasagna.
I really love.
They,
Philly
he
steak and
has,
cheese.
Because I have it on my fridge.
what are they?
Philly steak and cheese.
Yeah.
I love them. I get them by there.
So
Yeah.
that's what he had.
Jefferson's still the best.
Yeah.
I got to say that.
Sits in Tallahassee, so we done heard about it too, so. But
But their desserts are really good too.
Oh yeah, they actually have sugar-free
So we
ice
just
cream.
gonna go one.
So I got. They didn't have vanilla, but they had some kind of caramel one that I got.
Guess what?
It was good. But boy, they got some really good desserts.
They kind of change it up every day. They have one special that they do, and then
And then you can order off, and then
yeah.
which I did.
Get Charlotte
It's really, really, really good.
I spoke to you.
I'll tell Jonathan.
Yes, ma'am. Great to see you.
You too.
Have a blessed day.
You too.
Oh, it might too.
In early 2000,
Nice to see you again. I think I saw you last month.
Yeah.
Up here.
You're welcome. Glad you got to be here.
I need to get it redone.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you so much.